Good morning. I'd like to call the July 11th bid board meeting to order. We have acknowledgement of a quorum. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from June 6th.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is we have Todd Dorner from Dorner Construction on a phone call. I had asked to have somebody from Dorner, attend the meeting since we now have, my understanding is the end of this week, we're coming to the close of the underground and all of that, and now we're going to get to the fun part of doing the street, the sidewalks, the curb and gutter, really letting us see that it's taking shape instead of looking like it was a bomb field. So I thought it would be good to just kind of get a roadmap, so to speak, no pun intended, of what we can expect for the next phase of our life, I guess. So, Todd, I don't know, can you hear us okay?
Hey, Todd, it's Jess Wilds again. Can you hear us all right?
I can hear muddling in the back. I hear you clear.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I just hear muddling in the back.
That's fine. I can repeat for Mike. He's hoping that you can provide an update on sort of where we're at and what to expect as we're moving forward with the project at this time.
Okay. The sewer and underground and abandonments are all on the tail end of it. Wrapping up end of this week, beginning of next week on that. We started with the street excavation on the north end yesterday. That's actually as the original schedule starting that date, so we're basically on schedule with it. They're going to start from the north, head towards the south. We're doing one little thing differently because of how close the curb is to some of the buildings, and that we're taking out the sidewalks, prepping that as we go, getting it ready for the base, and continuing towards the south also with that with the street construction. Once we get a portion of it, say 40% of that ready, we're going to have Steiner Electric come in to start putting some of the conduit in for the street lighting. From that point, then we'll have BMCI come in, start with some of the curbing, followed up by Steiner again with some of the bases, and followed up with BMCI with some of the sidewalks right behind.
So
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a change of what we originally heard, where the sidewalks were totally coming out in August. So now we're kind of a couple weeks ahead of that. Is that what we're hearing?
Todd, Mike asked if we are currently a little bit ahead since the sidewalks are coming out sooner than planned.
It's still going to be kind of a process. Yes, some of the portions might be a little bit out of schedule. Others will be right on yet.
Okay.
Just because of the if we would have left in after seeing where the curb is, once you got it staked and you can see it, and if we would have left some of the paver brick in, I think we would have had a little bit more chance of people tripping over some of the paver bricks because they would have been looser. And talking at the last couple of progress meetings, we just felt for safety wise, taking them out, putting them on gravel to walk, and compacting it as we were going was going to be a safer aspect for the pedestrians walking to the businesses.
Okay, so basically I guess I'm just trying to, and I don't know if you want to move that down here, but I'm just trying to paint a picture for the businesses so that they understand that, and I totally agree with you, the pavers are dangerous, the ones that are being left in there. So the question would be is for the businesses so they understand once that sidewalk comes out, we're going to put down crushed gravel and kind of make a sidewalk so that there is a sidewalk there, it just won't be the pavers, correct?
Correct.
You have to put the mic
Okay.
down by it.
And then at the front, because it's 4 inches of sidewalk going in areas where it's just sidewalk, we're going to leave it to 4 inches down, but where the front door is or an entrance, we're going to ramp it up so it's not a 4-inch step coming out of the front door.
Okay. No, I think that's good. And, you know, you and I talked last week, and I guess I've said this before, but I guess I couldn't have asked for a better contractor to do what they're doing downtown. Your guys have been phenomenal in helping the businesses and helping customers. And there's a lot of people in the audience right now that are nodding their heads. So I just want to, again, say publicly thank you very much for everything that your guys are doing, and we really appreciate it. We know that it's hard on your end, it's hard on ours, but they're making it as easy as they can on us. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for the kind words. Right now is the process, I guess, where you'll start seeing things finish up, so that should actually help, I guess, for the appearance of the whole thing too. So this will be more visible for you to see what's happening versus, I don't want to say the word destruction, but just construction of the downtown area.
Yeah, it's the fun phase now. It's the rebuild. The house is tore apart. Now we got to put it back together. There's a few businesses in the audience. I don't know if anybody if they have any specific questions that anybody wants to ask. You're welcome to come up and ask away. Okay, we have one coming up.
It's just a request.
Actually, to make this easier so he can hear, just come up here.
Okay. What do you want?
Right here with me.
My request is just for the sidewalks. So as the sidewalks go in, it's not very clear for pedestrians to know where to walk. So if there could be some kind of a tape line or some definition just to create some clear ways to walk. Because for us, I'm down on the north end and I've been without a sidewalk for a while. And there's like piles of supplies that they need for the construction, and now there's piles of bricks and pavers, and there's things all over the place. So a person coming into the space, it's a little bit intimidating to know where to go. So I think it would be really easy, just draw have a little tape or have a little line or something, just to show some walkways. That's it. That's my request.
I don't know if you heard that, Todd.
Right now, this is where you'll start seeing a lot of the excess pipe that we had left over getting hauled out. Actually, the semis, they're not there right now. They should be there at some point today. I had 2 semis coming to take any of the excess concrete pipe that was not used in the ground being picked up. Some of the old pipe that was taken out of the ground is supposed to be getting hauled out. I haven't been in the city. I won't be there till tomorrow. But these are some of the things that we had coordinated. So a lot of excess stuff is starting to get moved out this week. So that should help a little bit to get a little bit better access for the people coming to the businesses. The only issue with trying to put up something like you're requesting, maybe with some string line or something. Right now it's going to be continuously with the curb or excavation that could possibly be moved every day or every hour practically right now. And it'd be, I think, more of a hazard of it getting tipped over, somebody tripping or something like that, versus just kind of leaving it be. If I can think of something, I'll try helping with it, but I don't know off the top of my head right now what I could do to make it safe.
Okay. Anybody on the bid board have any questions, comments?
They could spray paint the side, just line up the side of those pipes going in. That would be pretty simple.
I think I don't disagree, but I think also what he's saying is as they dig and move stuff, those lines are going to constantly be getting destroyed and moved. So
We'll see what we can do. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be down there, and I'll kind of sometimes just walking the project. A light bulb goes off in the head. Maybe I can think of something. So just give me a little time, and I'll see what I can dream up of.
Okay. Anything from anybody else? No other comments? Jess, you have anything? Nope. Okay, thank you very much, Todd, for taking the time to call in. We really appreciate it. And I'm unfortunately not here tomorrow. Otherwise, I'd say stop in and say hi.
I guess one reminder is that we do continue to do the weekly call-ins on Wednesday afternoons.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep. Bye.
Just pass that back.
Yeah, just a reminder that we do the weekly construction project calls every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock. That information is available online for the call-in, and then we also send out an e-blast with the updates directly from Todd and his crew. So please keep an eye out. If you're not getting those updates, feel free to connect with me after this meeting.
And the other thing I'd add to that is the city does have, and I can't remember his name, but I know what he looks like. They have an inspector down there. So if you have questions or have problems, go talk to him. I actually, we've talked to him a couple times about the crosswalk, making sure that it was accessible, and they've been down there immediately to get it fixed. So they've been awesome. So if there's nothing else, we'll move on to the normal direction of this and go to the financial report.
Great. There's not a lot of change in the financial report this month besides the additional electricity costs and some marketing costs. We're about halfway in our spending for marketing, and we just had a marketing committee meeting earlier this morning and plan to spend additional dollars on a reopening and additional activities in this fall. So there'll be an update after this here. But otherwise, we're looking good. We have holiday decoration presentations coming up here, and still have some funding in that line in future projects as well.
So we need a motion to approve and all that other.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, holiday decoration presentations.
I'm really pleased to share that we have 3 vendors here today who have prepared presentations for you to explore some new ideas for holiday decorations. So each of them are going to do a brief presentation in PowerPoint. I have 2 of them on my computer here and 1 up there. So I guess maybe we'll start off with the slideshow that's up on the podium, and that's with KEI. And if Chris and if you guys would like to come up and introduce yourselves and the ideas that you've put together for our downtown. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it very much. I'm Chris Kajawa, and this is Chris Harrington. And we are trying to figure out where my glasses are not. We're KEI. Let's see. Okay. We are KEI. We've been at this since 1964. The first client that you'll recognize that we can talk about would be downtown Milwaukee, the Bid 21 district. All the overhead lighting that you see down Wisconsin Avenue, most everything downtown, in and out the Pfister Hotel, MGIC, Marquette University. Those are the kind of clients that we serve. A lot of the other bid districts in downtown Milwaukee as well. We put up their holiday decor, a lot of their summer services and so forth. So I just want to give you kind of a feel for who we are. Zeidler Park, we do that. It's a cooperative effort between We Energies and Bid 21, the holiday lights extravaganza, all those different things. This last couple of years during COVID, they didn't have any live presentations, so we actually decorated and produced the pavilion that you saw on television for the holiday lights extravaganza for Bid 21. So it just gives you kind of an idea of the scope of who we are. That's some of our work over the last few years. The chandeliers actually came from France. We went over there and had those produced. We're modifying them this year, and we're going to modify the pole decor and the swags as well. So Chris here had a meeting and a walkthrough downtown and looked at some of the different possibilities and some of the things that you saw. What you see here are some of the elements that we kind of picked out, but they're really one of, literally could be hundreds of different things that we could show you. So the ribbons and the falling stars are kind of a little bit of a theme that we sort of thought we could put together based upon the areas that were shown to us. Now, the way we sort of kind of thought about this, there's a number of ways we can handle this, but there's an initial investment, would be like an outright purchase program. If you wanted to buy everything, we help you do all that and make sure everything gets done. It comes, whether it's domestic or European, we get it here, we set it up, we take care of the whole 9 yards for you. We can do it on a 5-year lease to own, a rental program. There's a lot of different ways that we can take this. We've got clients that kind of do all three, really. It all depends upon their budget, what they want to spend, how they want to spend it, and how their fiscal years operate.
So the concept that I was thinking of,
If you can go over to the microphone so we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
so
Thanks.
the concept that I was thinking of as far as really tying in that walkway area to the bridge area. So that's where I really wanted to illuminate it, make it a focal point. You've got the beautiful tree, but I think that's a great opportunity to kind of expand the scope for patrons to, kind of spend more time and just to kind of develop a new area. And again, adding some touches so everything's cohesive. As far as adding, you have the pole planters that are in the pavilion area to kind of carry some of that those softer elements down the walkway. And this would be a very, very large, impressive holiday planter. Again, I had suggested that we use artificial plant material, very realistic looking, something that you can, if you do decide to purchase, you can use year after year after year with minimal upkeep. And we also, because with the installation being at the end of October, to keep it vibrant looking, to make sure that, it looks good as the day that we put it in. And this is where I mentioned the pole planters again to kind of tie in that same theme. We're going to pick up the reds and whatnot. There'll probably be some elements kind of mimicking the star ribbons that we have for the in the walkway. Okay, and when I had met with Jess, she had mentioned as far as, giving people a place to linger, to kind of make family moments and memories. That's where I thought the pavilion would be a great opportunity to kind of make it a selfie station where people could interact with their families and kind of be a great takeaway, for the whole family. And in the pavilion area, again, kind of tying in those star banner poles that are in the walkway leading down by the bridge. I wanted to kind of pick up that red lighting. So the upper level of the pavilion would be highlighted in red rope lighting to kind of give it a nice little glow. And then the whole bottom will be decorated in lit garland, again, kind of mimicked each of the 6 poles with the red big bows, to really kind of make it look festive. In the client-owned holiday tree, again, just basically, maybe with the ornaments that I see there, that's kind of where I got my color scheme from. And we had talked as far as moving the sleigh that you guys own and maybe doing a little vignette in front of the tree, to really kind of make it look a little bit more finished, and again, for photo opportunities. For the streetlight design, we had proposed, I know, kind of right now it was like about 148 light poles that we're talking about. The idea that we're conceptualizing is to have every other pole, about 75 poles, have lit double-sided wreaths. Again, kind of picking up that red ribbon theme. So it'll be a double-sided bow on each side and double-sided lighted wreath that you can, that'll be a nice frame for the whole main street.
We would actually produce the hardware, the mounts. We fabricate that all in-house so that we can quick sort of, put them in, take them down. Works very smoothly.
And then the planting beds surrounding the pavilion, basically, this is all stuff that you guys own. I basically wrote this up as far as what's been done in the past, and kind of looking at previous pictures. I think there's opportunity to change it up a little bit with the design. A lot of the plant material has matured. But as for this specific presentation, I just kind of wanted to, show you as far as what you've done in the past, that we could duplicate that as well. And that kind of continues on with that same concept.
These are the areas.
Yeah. And then with the alley passageway, again, tying in the softer elements of having two nice holiday decor planters on each end to frame that alley passageway. Jess had mentioned that you guys are going to have lights strung up through the top. Just thought it would make a nice welcoming entrance. And the bridge lighting. Again, looking at various shots, being down in that area, I just thought as far as being able to light up the bridge, the top arch and along the bottom would just be, very, very stunning. And with the new walkway that you guys have being developed down there, just would be, again, a great place for families to spend some time in downtown.
We think we could outline the silhouette, basically the top arc and the bottom span piece on both sides.
And then this is the roundabout, with not exactly sure as far as whether it's going to be grass or concrete. And again, with the timing being end of October, we actually have this magnificent handcrafted metal tree frame that's about 14 feet high, three-dimensional. Jess had mentioned that there would be power to that area. We're proposing to highlight it with lit ribbons for daytime visual interest. I'm sorry, not lit ribbon, garland. And obviously once the lights go down, this is just going to be a big, beautiful, massive piece to kind of welcome you into the beginning of Main Street. And these basically just kind of list, what we'll supply, what the client will supply.
It's essentially turnkey. I mean, the city needs to supply electricity, of course, make sure we've got, good electricity. If you want to work with the banners, we'll need sign off and liability waivers from the people that own buildings, and we'd have to work out how we mount into some of those with masonry anchors and so forth, but that can all be done. We supply everything else. Some other things just, to kind of think about, this is, one of our downtown locations where we light the trees. We tend to light them right out to the edge, very bright, very vibrant. We use probably anywhere from 40 to 50% more lights than normal, but that's the effect that you get. It's kind of a one-time per year event. Let's make it right. This particular set is this is a catalog picture, but this is what you see down at Zeidler Park. They wanted an old-fashioned kind of Victorian Christmas. These pieces are all from Europe. The chair is down there, and just like you see in that picture, people love it. They can't get enough. These are the same pieces. The gift box sets are great. Could be around a tree, could be in the pavilion, could be anywhere. They're actually pretty reasonably priced, and they are just like you see them. That's kind of a nighttime picture. The picture frame is another selfie area that we've got down at Zeidler as the tree. And these are actual pictures. So you just saw some catalog pictures. These are the real things in our warehouse. That's how you sit on it and take pictures at the park. You can see the guy in the corner there sitting on the big old Santa tree with a lamp. These are some things we're looking at. Some of our clients are looking at them, but I think they're just terrific. There's nothing like European design. The manufacturing is solid. The design is simple and elegant. It's really good stuff. It's creative. This would be something that, if you wanted to explore this, you could do it a couple pieces at a time, or you just simply go all in, okay? This could be in the corner. This could be almost anywhere. Pieces are individual. These are 20-foot deer, okay? They're spectacular. There's a couple down in Illinois at some of the malls. And then the balls are anywhere from 6 to 8 foot as well. This is another real good selfie kind of thing. You've seen people up against the wall with the wings. This is a lit version of it. Oops, sorry. These are just, some kind of common pieces. They're nice, they're simple. This is another one. So, any of these that you see are pretty much at our disposal times another 6, 8, 10 different versions of the thresholds of the ornaments. This is another great selfie piece. So, our goal is to kind of talk you through some of these things. We can do pretty much whatever you want. During our tour, we were, sort of bound by, here's what we do, here's the areas that we produce. We own a lot of the stuff. Can you, put it in and take it down? That's easy. That's the simple part. It's the creative part where I think if we sit down together and kind of, go through not only where you're at, but where you want to go and where you want to take this, that's when the creative part really, kicks in. And that's really where we come from. So that's kind of where we're at. We do have pricing for these things. If you want to, kind of talk about that at some point, maybe not right now, but we can present that to you as well. Okay.
Jess, do you have this PowerPoint?
I can get it. We brought it on a flash drive today, so
Yeah, so if you can get that to me. Actually,
Absolutely.
all of these.
Yeah, we can include it in the recap e-blast so people can read this, the details and take a
And
deeper
we can
look.
bring, like I said, we can bring the catalog. We've been to Europe to look at some of these things. The stuff coming out of Europe is just, it's 10 times what comes out of the United States. Like I said, the design is elegant, the manufacturing is good. It's high tensile aluminum manufacturing. It's welded. The seams are good. The lights are terrific. They're compatible with UL standards here in the States. So the stuff is, I won't say it's indestructible, but it's as good as you'll find. And the variety is unbelievable. So all of those things can come to bear. We typically bring it in, either sell it, lease it, rent it, store it, put it up, take it down, refurbish as necessary. That's part of our program. So for you, it's pretty much turnkey. Pick your style, pick what you like, and we just make it happen from there. And we adhere to your timing. You tell us a date certain, for install or destall, that's what we do. So be happy to give you some references.
Does anybody have any questions? I'm just looking at time. We got to keep this moving.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just get our next one set up down here. So it's going to be Chad from David J. Frank. There you go. You can just hit those buttons.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. So first of all, I wanted to tell you, knowing that you're doing this major renovation of the downtown, it's like a rebirth. It's going to be a grand opening again for the entire city. So I wanted to really work that into my overall design. So I created a concept that would be new and fresh for you all versus something that's been done before. So I always, when I think of West Bend, I just think of it as the holiday city, but I thought we should turn it up a little bit to the holiday city that sparkles. So one thing I'm proposing to you all is we can do these skylines that go over the street, and like 3 or 4 year cables I was made aware of that you have, and also doing some pole mounts. So the pole mounts alone are roughly 6 feet in height, and we mount them on the poles. So this is actually how it'll look over the street. So there's a nice twinkle to it and a sparkle. So everything that I worked out for this will have that element to it, that sparkle. So you literally, your city will actually be very magical looking. So to go with the skyline option 1 here, I put in pricing, I put in numbers, measurements, so you can get a better understanding of what this scope will actually be. And I also propose that on the lampposts, instead of doing previously lit garland on every lamppost, that we do, let's say we start out with maybe 5 lampposts, and we spiral wrap them with light sets, and throw in a sparkle set every now and then we'll do a lamppost with pre-lit garland on it with ornaments, and a strand of the sparkle twinkle lights in that garland as well. And then go, let's say, 5 or 6 more lampposts, and then do a pole mount on it. That'll tie the whole look in all together. These are just some figures and numbers for install and removal. As you know, in the past, we come in, we'll install everything, remove it, repair anything that needs to be repaired. This is a welcome sign, and it's roughly 7 feet tall. And I was thinking that this would be a really nice feature to have either in that new roundabout area or maybe at the start of like the front of the park, of Settlers Park. A walk-through ornament arch, great for selfies, just great to like hang out and take a stroll through. And Mike, I will talk to you. I do have a diamond ring for you that you're gonna like. This is another one. This is a tree arch. You could do more than one of these. They come in 2 sizes. So these would be great to place around throughout Main Street, not just in the park, but in various areas. So we could place some in Pocket Park, for example, or one on the Riverwalk, or a few, one by Settlers Park, and then maybe at the start of Main Street on, well, that would be the south end. Then we also have these pole tree mounts. They're one-sided and they're very dimensional. And you could mount this to a light pole or to the front of a building. So if you want to do a building, that's what that would be looking more like. And then I also propose we do some new tree decor this year so that we keep in with the whole new look of the city that sparkles. Going with a gold and silver, champagne, pearl gold ornaments, handmade designer bows. Actually, we'll place throughout the tree itself. We'll weave in twinkle lights in various locations of the tree. So it's not just like twinkle, twinkle in your face kind of thing. It's going to be more of a subdued look. And then the last thing is the bridge decor. We could wrap this with just white lights and twinkle lights if you want, but I also suggest doing maybe the pine garland swagged, lit with the white and twinkle lights, and ornaments, bows will match the tree. This will signify that it'll keep in that whole same look and feel as Main Street has, but we're just bringing it over to the Riverwalk. And that's what I have.
Could you just tell us who you are and where you're from?
Sure. My name is Chadwick. I'm the manager of the holiday department at David J. Frank Landscape.
Got it. And the items that you're proposing, are they only for sale or are they also able to be leased or rented?
Typically, we just sell, but I could do a leasing option as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. All right, our last one is Dawn Harmon, and she's presenting with Mosca Design. Here we go. And just hit this button.
Hello, it's Dawn with Mosca Design, and I just gave you guys a lot of options. Mosca's been in business since 1980. Everything we have is made in America. North Carolina is where the home office is, and one of the main plants that we work with is in North Carolina as well. All of our hardware comes with it. This is one of our skylines. It's a really big seller for us. As you'll see further, for accenting your tree, I'm not sure what you guys were looking for, so I gave options as well as the 3D gift packages. I gave all the different sizes because depending on your budgets, I don't know how many you're going to want. You can place these, actually everything is outdoor as well, so you can place these in different areas in the city. As you see, the majestic stag, you'd seen that in the previous presentation. That is made in the USA as well for us. Our ornaments, we do custom work. Anything you see, any of our skylines here, depending if you're going for a silhouette look, your traditional looks. I gave the pricing, our regular pricing, and the discount that I would give to you guys through August. It's just endless, the possibilities, since we can do everything custom. If you need a skyline longer, if you need it shorter, we price it, get it to you within just a couple days. Now the manufacturing, depending on what time of year it is, it could take anywhere from 4 weeks for our snowflakes for a large quantity, and then as we get closer to Christmas, it's about 12 weeks manufacturing for our bigger displays. I included also wreaths and silhouettes. Silhouettes are a big seller for us, and I have all the pricing in there as well for that. And the garland pole wrap, I think, is gorgeous with the lighting. You'll see one of the grapevine deer next to the pole in the top picture. And then our walkthroughs. We have many walkthroughs. This is just a sample of them. I left some catalogs as well because it's about an 80-page catalog. And again, any of these can be made bigger, smaller. And then there's our wreath, which was great to see in another presentation. So that comes either double-sided or single. Cold rolled steel, almost everything's made of. The other photo ops in there actually are made of aluminum, except for our photo op wreath, which is a big seller for us. And then there's some more of our grapevine deer, come in all different sizes. And then for your bridge, we have any of our pole mounts can be made as a wall mount. They can be made bigger, smaller. I included some oversized ornaments. Those are made with they're not painted, they're actually made with that marine material that you would make a boat with. I mean, they just last a really long time. They don't chip. I have customers always wanting the paint. There's a glitter in there, and I have to explain to them, you just can't paint them. They last a really long time, though. We sell a lot of those to your malls and your malls, actually, so I sell a lot of those too. And so, yeah, we have the swag, really just anything you can think of, Mosca Design can do, and we do it here in the USA. So all of the pricing here comes with hardware, and that is about it. I did, again, leave the catalogs, and if you go online, the options are endless, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what you can do as far as either traditional, or we can do elegant, and sizing can always be changed as well. And thank you so much for letting me present today, too.
What's your company again?
It's Mosca Design.
Okay, thanks.
Just an overview question. So if we're looking to purchase or do anything with all of these or any of these, we would need to do it pretty soon, right?
We'll have to do it at the August meeting.
August? Okay. So, yeah, Jess, if we could get like a presentation that we could all see. It was hard for me to see up here for some of them. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, let's move on to bid board bylaws update. Or where are we at with that?
Sure. I'm happy to walk through some proposed changes for you to review today. The Common Council did take action in June to update the Chapter 1 of Municipal Code, and that included a few changes to the bid board bylaws that you had discussed earlier this year, having interest in changing. Let me just pull them up. So I did attach a red line version, which shows the changes that are proposed, and then a clean version if you want to just read them. But I'm going to pull up the red line. Just in one moment. So these are in your packet and available online in our bid agenda to look at. But the bylaws would include a date change, of course. But this is really on page 1 of the bylaws in section 2 is really what changed. And this language is now updated here to reflect what the municipal code has. So it's still in concert with state law, and the bid, I'm just going to read it. So the Business Improvement District Board shall consist of up to 9 and a minimum of 5 members. That did not change. Subject to confirmation by the Common Council, or appointed by the mayor and subject to confirmation by the Common Council for staggered 3-year terms expiring in April of each year. So that is the change. Primary change here is before the bid board terms expired in December. You had a lengthy conversation a few meetings back about changing that to April, and that needed to happen first at the council level. So now I'm recommending changing it in your bylaws to April. If any of you are up for your term to expire this December, it will just be extended until next April, or unless you otherwise choose to end a term early. 1 member of the board shall be an alderperson of the city of West Bend. A majority of the board members shall own or occupy real property within the bid. So that is a slight change as well. Before it was all members. So now it's a majority. And then everything else has pretty much stayed the same. Just kind of tightened up the text a little bit there. So the main changes here are the terms will now be April instead of December, and then the majority having ownership or occupying real property in the bid.
So the question I have with that is, you're saying a majority of the board members. So before, you had to be either be a retailer or a business within the bid to be on the board. So now you're saying that any citizen in the community can be on the board?
As long as the majority is still a property owner or occupant downtown.
So I guess I'm questioning, so did the council do this, or did you write this?
The council did in municipal code. You can make it further tightening like you had before so that it would say all board members. So in the past, that was a difference. The code did say that it was, and that the majority would be owners or occupants of space downtown, and the bid board bylaws said all must own or occupy. And in your meeting a few months back, it was expressed that to have it more open. We don't have to do that. That is up to you.
I thought it was more a question of, because we had the problem this year with 2 people coming in and then being asked to vote on something that they really weren't informed on. So the reason to move it to April was a good one, made sense. However, the bid board, I guess I feel very strongly, should only be people within the bid district. I don't think that somebody outside of it should be making decisions. This probably isn't coming out the way I want it to, but I didn't think that was a change that had even been discussed.
It had been
Maybe I
discussed
misinterpreted.
because we had one board member that had to no longer serve on the board because they had moved outside of the downtown. And that is when that topic came up, is when that board member
got
left.
it.
They
So
needed to be
the logic behind it, and I can go either way with it, but the logic behind it was, if all of a sudden we identified somebody who could really bring a lot to the table, could become a member of the board, even though they're not within the district. So that was kind of what was what was discussed. It could stay as that everybody has to be within the district. You know, it could go either way, but and I could go either way with it as well, to be real honest.
I guess I'm fine with it. I just didn't realize that was in addition. So I'm perhaps just missed it.
I think part of the confusion here is when I brought all this up originally and started questioning what was going on, there was a difference between state statute, city municipal code, and the bid bylaws, and they all conflicted. So doing this, it brings all three of those together so there's no conflict. And if you think about it, anybody, I mean, even, you know, like I don't live in the city of West Bend, but I could serve on a committee within the city if the mayor so chose to say, hey, I want you to be a part of this. So it's kind of that same spirit, I think. And it's keeping everything kind of lined up with.
Funding comes from our district,
What's that?
except for the funding.
The funding comes from our district, but it's keeping everything in line from everything that happens within. And that was my purpose of bringing all this up, was we should be consistent with all the other committees within the city.
I just wanted to say, I remember from that meeting, we talked about whether there was somebody who had a specialty of like law or marketing or
Right.
whatever, and we couldn't find them within the district, and we went outside for it, which I get what you're saying, but it kind of feels like, yeah, that might not be the worst idea to have somebody who isn't physically located in the bid district, but can really help us expand the bid district to what we want.
Do we need to motion to approve this?
We got to do the whole thing. Is there more? I
Were
can't
there any more
remember.
amendments?
No, that's it. We'll just change the dates then. At the end is the only other change on the next page.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So will you have the new one at the next meeting? We can all sign it? Okay. I got to get back to the agenda. Oops. Next item is, I brought up the wrong, what's the next
The
item?
bid marketing committee update.
Okay. I left the agenda. I went to
There you
something
go.
else. Went to the bylaws. Okay, so the marketing committee met today. The kind of the discussion was a grand opening event. There's a lot of ideas that are being floated around as far as, you know, do we go one way or the other way? I think the biggest thing is the, to me, and I think everybody agreed to this, was it really needs to be an event. It's a once in every, you know, the last time we had the ability to do this was 40 years ago. We're all going through a really struggling summer, and it's a great way to not only bring focus to the Main Street and the Riverwalk, but it also can bring focus to everybody's businesses. And so the conversation was, you know, what do we do? How do we go with what actually happens? You know, and the city has decided that they want to do their own grand opening on the 27th of October, totally aside of anything that the businesses want to do. I'll be very honest, I don't agree with it, but the city can do what the city wants. The thought process was then we would do a kickoff with the tree lighting and make that a whole weekend event that would carry into November, December, with a lot of other events that are already planned by the Downtown Association and some of the other groups with their they're not grand openings, they're holiday openings and that kind of thing. There's roughly $12,000 left in the marketing budget. I don't think we can realistically at this point say, do we need more money or not more money? Some of the things that were talked about was doing something with the reindeer that are annually in the Christmas parade. And I talked to those people just to see what it would cost, and it's roughly, well, it's $900 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. They would bring reindeer down. They could do a petting area. They could do a sleigh in front of the Christmas tree to do, that. There was discussion of having horse-drawn carriages. My biggest thing with it, and I think everybody agrees, is whatever we do has to drive business. It's got to drive people into the stores, into the restaurants. I don't think there should be, unless it's the downtown restaurants that are doing it and bars, I don't think there should be any outside alcohol or food, because we want them to go into the businesses and get back into the stores and the restaurants and the bars. So the key also is to make sure the businesses are on board with wanting to participate and be open and do something. I have and I left it on my desk, unfortunately, but I have it's a flyer. It's about this thick that was done by the West Bend News in 1983 with the grand opening of the new Main Street. And every business in there had some kind of special grand opening sale or item or whatever. So it's really going to be key, I think, to get all of these businesses on board and we make it an event, and be that bands or whatever. So right now it's kind of in the planning stages, but I think everybody, if you got suggestions, you got ideas, the Christmas decorations are going to be a part of that. Know that we may come back and say, hey, we got some money from the contingency fund, because I think it's we need to really help these businesses right now. There's a lot of people struggling down there. And so we need to reach out and get out of the community even to promote and advertise and market it.
What's the date of the Christmas tree lighting?
November 2nd.
These events, are they going to be carried on throughout the day?
It would be the whole weekend.
So it'll be
a weekend.
Daytime, nighttime? Yeah, okay.
It would kick off on Thursday night with the tree lighting and then go Friday, Saturday. I don't know if businesses would be open on Sunday or not. I will go on the record and say I will not be, but
A lot of the downtown shops have holiday open houses that weekend, and they are on Sundays as well.
Yeah.
They kind of go all out.
Every business that's open and what their special is. So like they can walk downtown and they can just grab a flyer from anywhere and just read it, kind of like when you buy the, like, the football. Cards,
magnets.
10% and here and there. You can do that, and then everybody knows exactly what's going on where. And then they can plan their weekend, possible punch card situation, and
Those
get 'em all.
are the kind of ideas that we need, Wes. That's awesome. Yeah, I would say if you could just shoot that over to Gina. Not that she's in charge of anything, but she's kind of like
Kinda gathering it all.
She's kind of gathering it so that we don't overdo it or be redundant. Because the marketing committee, I know it's hard for everybody to meet meetings all the time, but those are some of the kind of ideas that we would need to make decisions on. That's awesome.
How is the city of West Bend promoting because right now there's a stigma of we're under construction. No one will come downtown, is my opinion. So how are we, the bid board and city of West Bend, going to promote this a month before? I mean, how are we going to do more media? Are we going to get Channel 6 down there?
That was a it's part of the conversation. And so our next meeting is on the 8th of August. And I think at that point, we need to solidify what's going to happen. And that's why I'm saying we may have to come and get some money, because I believe that a month ahead of time, we need to start promoting this thing.
Yeah.
And it needs to be, not just social media. It needs to be a bigger, kind of thing. And I can tell you, because I work with every one of the TV stations in Milwaukee and Green Bay, they are being very sympathetic of what's happening. And so I firmly believe that once we get something put together, and if I talk to them, we can definitely get something to happen, because I had someone up one of the stations last week, and they were like, this is crazy. We can't believe this. How is everybody surviving? So I think they'll do whatever we ask them to do within reason to help us promote. Obviously, we're going to have some money to do like the morning blend or, those kind of shows, but
Well, I think that once we get this plan put together for that weekend,
everybody needs to know about it.
everybody needs to know. We need to get rid of that stigma of that the downtown's under construction.
Turn your
Let
mic on.
everybody- And let everybody know that we're gonna be open for business a month ahead.
We should let everybody know we're open for business now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know
We're
what I'm
not
saying.
closed.
You know what I'm saying.
We are there. We're still working on staying alive.
Right.
Now, if you're going to be talking to radio stations down in Milwaukee and Green Bay area and all that, should we be talking to our local hotels and seeing if they would do like a 10% off room that they could be shouting out into other cities so that people can plan to come here and spend the weekend?
I think anything is on the table. I
Okay.
really do.
Okay. So I can go talk to 2 different people and see what they would be willing to do, which they're really good guys, so I'm sure they would help us out.
Yep. So I think the key to it is if you have any suggestions like you're coming up with, Peggy's idea is great. Just fire it off to Gina so that she can, because she's kind of keeping the list. She kind of has become the list keeper, the unofficial list keeper, because nobody else is taking notes. Well, Jess might be, but
It's actually at a good time of year if you think about it, because it's all going to be before all the major holiday advertising. So I think that we're going to hit it at a right spot. We should be able to get the word out pretty good.
Yep. Exactly.
I feel like we have really good momentum going into it from years past as well.
Okay, so there's nothing else on.
Just, Mike, just one thing. I think we need to view the city's ribbon cutting as just the end of the construction project. It's to celebrate the end of that project.
I don't agree. I think we're
yeah.
trying. Real honestly, Mark, we're trying to bring everybody together, and by doing the way they're doing it and the way it was addressed this morning of just flat out no with no discussion, in my opinion, is we're not coming together. And yeah, it may be the end of it, but the way it was flat out no, this is what we're doing. You can do what you want to do. I don't agree. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
Okay. Well, I don't think necessarily all the discussions are over, so.
Yep.
Thank you.
So let's move on to item 6, downtown master plan update.
This is just a brief update. The city, and we've talked about this in previous meetings this year, the city's been working with Grafe, a consultant from Milwaukee, who's been doing a downtown master plan and action plan study. They've been doing a number of stakeholder interviews. Many of you on the board took part in those, and now are going to be doing a downtown master plan business stakeholder survey. So I'll be sending out that link today to all of you and to everyone that I have emails for in the bid to participate. You're welcome to share that link with others in the bid. Just really want to have feedback from businesses down there. It's a pretty brief survey, maybe 10 minutes tops. And the city we aren't the ones that are acquiring the data. It's Grafe, and they're the ones who are then synthesizing all of that information. So the downtown business stakeholder survey starts today, and it will be available for people to take through the 24th of July. So we'll send out some reminders, and we'll try to get the word out as much as possible for them to get a good response and just some more feedback and ideas from the downtown. We will also have a community survey that will go out much more broadly. It will probably go out on our public Facebook page. Anybody who wants to chime in with their thoughts and ideas and help us really, have a good sense of, what people want to see in our downtown area. So that will be published on the 11th, and it will go through the August 6th.
So I would like to encourage all building owners to get this to every one of their tenants and get them to respond, because it's a great opportunity to get your feelings out there also and let people know what you're thinking. I don't know who on this committee was interviewed, but I was, and they did a great job. And I think they have some really interesting insight as well.
Thank
So,
you.
if there's nothing else with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.